and people relate it to some of their life. And it's based on that reasons or this practice that has made us today being able to remember or got historical, things that we can hang on to prove that we have come from some extent to this stage that we are in now. Historical records. So it's necessary to put something down. That's why I'm saying all these things. Also, it gives room to evidential things for one to know that, okay, when this person had a chance, he was pointing at something. The diamond could say, hey, I have this here. It's mine. Go take it. That's trying to express his will. Or a diamond can say, this is my pursuer. This is what he did. This is what he looked like. And those evidence can be a guide for someone to change after the physical, physical act that was done to that person before he probably lost his life. And it's that same regards. I am putting these things there. It's just my instincts and my experiences and what I can link it to. Because being from that church, these things became so serious. It became worse. It became tough. Now, whether something outside is what doing it, it happened in there. Comments make me feel as if they knew what was going on. Because in the process when we were in the Brighton men's fellowship trip, there's this Ghana guy sitting next to me, and he was speaking to his other colleagues that he's been there several times and he's been experiencing this thing several times. And he was saying it, not directly looking at me, indirectly, looking at the other fellows, and he was saying it. And I was listening, and he was clearly saying, and he realizes that my legs began to wobble, shivering all the way to the top. And it looks as if I am shivering, but that's not shivering, it is shaking me. Something was shaking my legs, and he was even using the word as I use now, saying it. He's shaking. Now he was saying that to his fellow mates, telling them that I was shaking. Yeah, he's shaking now. He's shaking. Whatever that meant, all those things. He was sitting next to me, so obviously I thought straight ahead he's talking about me. And truly, I realized, I felt it was my leg that was shaking. My legs were shaking all the way from up, and that's how it happened to me in the room. It started from my feet all the way up to the mid part of me, all the way to the neck, to the top, and then it goes back down again, and then it happens again, and then it stops. But it always starts from the feet, that nature, and then it comes up. Now, whether it is some energy in the ground that comes through me or something, that I don't know, but that's how it happened. So the comments make me know that they knew what was going on. And then that made me express my anger towards them and directly confronted them and the pastor that what was going on, what are they doing to me? Because it got to a stage that I was really upset. It was up to my neck. So I confronted the man when we were on a trip going back to the church house or the hotel we were living, because the men's fellowship normally takes place in the church hall, but in a church environment, or church set up home or something. But this time around, they refused that from going to the church. They asked us they can't have room for us. There's no accommodation for us in the church premises for some reason, and that somebody has paid for us to go to the hotel. So we went to the hotel, and that's where we ended up in the hotel. I showed you the car. That's where we stayed. A hotel. It's a hotel that was owned or somehow owned by an Indian, or let's say people of that Asian background. They own the kind of hotel with this logo. It's a hotel which most people are familiar with. It's so sad enough the name isn't here. There is the hotel with the signature of David Blake, and that's my signature. These are the rooms we had to stay in. These are the dates when we had to go there. It was about 3 days. So from the 13th November 03 to the 15th November 03, we're at this location, and you can see my name right there, you know, and it was, my name was mentioned because it was meant for me to take the room alone, even though it was two persons to share. But I decided I wanted to share with someone. So this man, since everybody was refusing to share the room with me, they all have, wanted to share with somebody else. I don't know. And I only have a room, and they all didn't want to, and they were all, and I knew it was some sense of focus because I was the only stranger there or something like that. I didn't mind. I only told them, but I can't share a room. This is a place we can afford, and we didn't pay much. So if somebody is there and hasn't got anyone he can share with me, that's fine. I'm not here to take just a room. And there's a reason for probably saying that, but yeah, it was good to show that I'm not selfish in any way. So he came out, David Blake, and he says, yes, I'm going to share the room with him. Okay, let's go. And then we shared a room together, and I went through that experience very much. So it's a hotel that I don't know why the name is not on this reservation card, but normally you should have the name on there, to sort of show what sort of company or what sort of hotel it is. But I know the hotel, it's just I've forgotten the name again. It's an Indian sort of hotel, which is very common in Europe, in England, London, UK per se. It's all over. Yeah, something. So yeah, that is that, and basically that's the only evidence I've got in the presence in that place. I kept it seriously. I kept it. So if I happen to die or get seriously sick or something, I sort of want to relate it to the fact that these are the sources of which my long waiting issues of whatever it is, spiritual things or whichever it is. This was the point or the place where maybe the plot was happening from, or this is the place where most of the pursuers was working from, or somehow were connecting to do whatever they were doing from, either from a Christian background or from the Baptist area or from that location that they were among. There was that kind of, my pursuers were among them, or they were there, or they were part of it, or there was some sort of knowledge of what was going on or what was happening. And that was the thing. They did have a knowledge of it. It was so obvious to me, And so, but since it didn't happen immediately or died immediately, I then thought of it as I've invited people, I've not kept quiet. I shared it. I called the local or my former residence home, Ghana, spoke to my family, close family, the experience I've gone through. Because when it happened, when I start going through it, I thought, even if my faith or God want to use me for something, I first have to reach home. And that's where I have spent most of my youth. I have to be there, share with them, and see what happens from there. Not like just going off just like that, shooting off. Maybe that can bring some memories and know what to start from, because that's all we know about. Start doing this kind of things like spiritual movement or spiritual experiences. That's what I was thinking along that line. So my reason of going home and doing all that was a very good thing to do. But it all didn't go where I didn't even have a clue what to do. I was confused. So from there, back in England, speaking to them, telling them, sharing with them anything, any experience I was going through, it might sound childish in their way, but to me, as an adult and responsible person, you have to be smarter. A human being is a human being. What you thought you know, others might not. Others might know that you don't even know. So you have to be able to, give room for yourself to know the things you need to know, and wait, open room for any surprise of ideas that might come up. And that was what I thought that procedure would have helped, and it has helped. I think it's good, even though others might negatively maybe slightly negative